tell us a little bit about pre-approvals. When should our clients get pre-approved? How long does the pre-approval last? How often do you guys run their credit? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, great questions. great questions. 90 days, right? So
Okay.
that's the number when we look at credit reports, right?
Okay.
So credit reports are good for 90 days.
Oh, good, because that's what I've been telling them.
So
I'm right.
It's 90 days. On top of that, a pre-approval. So once we issue that pre-approval, that's also good for 90 days.
Okay.
Right? So
Awesome.
credit 90 days, pre-approval 90 days. And as far as when's a good time to run it, it all depends on their particular time schedule.
Right.
Right? What I always do is I always offer, if someone comes to me and says, I want to buy a home in September of 2022, and they're like, I just want to have a good idea of where I stand, I will always do that, because the cost to a consumer is 3 to 5 points on their credit report. Right? Because a residential credit report, which is pulling, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, it's 3 to 5 points. And it's considered good credit.
Right.
Because the idea is that the balance goes down over time.
Yeah.
Right? Versus a credit card, when you go to Macy's,
Yeah.
and they give you all those incentives
Yeah.
and those gift cards and
you just keep
all that
spending
stuff.
and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's considered good credit, so they're not going to hit you.
Okay.
Right? They're not going to have that massive hit. But what's great about a baseline is it allows us to have a framework. Right? So when someone says, okay, I want to buy a home, I'm thinking $500,000 and I've got 20% down. Okay, great. So that's a loan amount at $400,000. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, put together their to-do list. And I mean, our company's gotten so, just sophisticated that the bots that are out there after they, do everything online, it creates a to-do list for them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, wow, that's just really, it's cool. It boggles my mind that it just keeps getting better and better and better and more sophisticated. But when you submit all that documentation, when I look at the income, assets, and credit, I then am able to run that and stress test it, right? And if someone's buying in September of next year, I'm not going to base it just on the 3 1/4 if that's what the prevailing rate is. I'm going to stress test it and say, okay, let's say worst case, maybe it's 4.5%, right? Or 4%, right? Just to make sure that we're still within that framework.
Gotcha. So I've been getting a lot of texts and emails from you about some Red Arrow programs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
What is that all about?
Well, I want you guys to know about it, right? I'm persistent from that standpoint. But I'm really excited about this, right?
Okay.
So the technical term is the Red Arrow Approval Express program.
Gotcha.
And what's great about it is a pre-underwrite.
Okay.
Right? So when we work with somebody and, you have somebody, you've brought them to me, I pre-approved them, we're in escrow, right? So we've already opened escrow on a new property. Well, what happens is I'm the one that locks the loan. I then send that to my processor. My processor, they then order the appraisal. They then reach out to the IRS, get their transcripts. They reach out to the employer. They get all this information and they package the whole file and get it into underwriting.
Okay.
Right? So that takes time. Right? So we're talking about time and we're also talking about, we talked about risk, right? We're talking about the uncertainty. So what this program allows us to do is we get to go halfway through the loan.
Awesome.
Before you even make a first offer.
Okay.
Because what happens is we take that file, it goes through underwriting, and it's the same underwriter that's going to be working on the loan, and they give us that conditional approval. And that conditional approval, that is an underwriting approval that has told the consumer that we have reviewed your income, assets, and credit, and provided that you can meet these particular conditions, then we're going to close on this loan.
Awesome.
Right?
So it's like in half the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're
Nice.
halfway through the loan
Yeah.
process. So what's great about the program is we also give that certificate, right? So we give that to the consumer. And, as we work together, what I do is I'm always following up with a listing agent, right? So you submit the offer, I follow up with a phone call, and I have my computer, I have everything, the whole file in front of me. And anytime, in case that listing agent has specific questions.
Gotcha.
Right? Because you can't just, wing it
Yeah.
and have that listing agent say, well, tell me about your borrower. Oh, they're good. You can't do that,
Yeah.
right?
I wish.
So you can't quite have that, right? So what happens is I follow up and I let them know that, okay, so, I've already reviewed the contingency windows. I reviewed the days of, how we're going to be, closing this on that particular date. And, we're direct lenders and we're going to meet all these milestones. if not exceed them, right?
Awesome.
And that's our goal. And if they have any specific questions about FICO or what they do for a living, all that kind of stuff, like I have that information available.
Gotcha.
Right. And what's really great about this program, it started out where it was FHA, VA, and conventional, but now we've actually opened it up to jumbo.
Oh,
so
cool.
now
Okay.
we're able to reach out to those more affluent buyers. And give them that sense. So, I'm working with somebody right now where, they have a $2 million loan. They want to buy this particular home. They want to be able to beat out every other offer that's coming out there. I mean, we're going to be ready to go. I'm psyched, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we definitely have to get a lot of our clients on that Red Arrow program.
Yep, the Area Approval Express.
Red Arrow Approval Express.
There you go.
Cool.